Hi, this is Chris from Total Calibration, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how we can create custom lists and apply custom approval workflows to those lists in Lanteria HR. First, let's create our custom list. So we'll go to Site Contents from the gear on the top right. We'll add an app and select Custom List. I will name this one My Custom List. Notice how I'm not adding any spaces to the initial name of the list. This is to ensure that the URL of the list comes out correctly with no special characters. Now let's go to our newly created list. This is now our newly created list, and you can create new items by clicking the New Item button here. That'll bring up the New Item form. You can add as many fields as you like on the form by creating additional columns on the list. To create an additional column, simply go to the List tab and create column. Now let's try adding some approval workflows to this list. First, we'll go to Settings and Config. Then we'll go to the Core HR module. Now we click on Processes and Approval Workflows and Approval Workflows. So this is a list of all of the approval settings in Lanteria HR. First, we'll have to create the approval workflow for our list. We'll go to Approval Workflows and add a new item. Let's call this one My Custom List Approval. Now we'll assign the steps to this approval process. We'll click Add New Step, and we can add a title, First Approval Level. You can name it whatever you want. The step order is 1 because this is the first step in the approval process. You can have as many step orders as required. And the step type is an approval. You can add a duration if the approval is due in a certain amount of days. For example, if something needs to be approved in, say, 3 days, then you would add 3. Next, we'll have to choose an approver. For this exercise, I'm going to make the employee's manager the approver of any item on the list. Then we'll click Save. And now we've created a sample approval process. Closing this dialog box, I can now create the approval process settings for our newly created list. First, we'll click on Add New Process and name our process. We'll select the list for approval, which was My Custom List. And select the approval workflow that we've just created, My Custom List Approval. Next, we'll select what the approval does. It's a status approval. We will want to show the approvals on the requests page, and we'll allow HR to initiate these approval workflows as well. Now we click Save. Once this is done, let's try creating a new item in our list. I'll create a new item. Let's associate an approval status column to this list. I'll click on Create Column and call it Approval Status. Notice how I do not have spaces on the column name of this list. I'll select Lookup, and I'll get the information from the approval statuses. Next, I'll click OK. Now let's try creating an item for an employee on this list. We will call this My First Approval Request. I'll make this request for one of my employees. And click Save. This should now send an approval request to Verity Hansen's manager. In this system, that is set up as myself. So I will go to the Employee view, and check my approval requests. We can now see that I've got an approval request for the new item that we've just created. As the manager, if I approve this, that should complete the approval request for our item. Let's take a look back on the list. We can now see that our first approval request has been approved. Returning back to our new item form, we will want to hide the approval status on the new item form. To do this, I will go to List, List Settings, and go to Advanced Settings to allow management of content types. Now I can control what's visible on the new item form. I click on Item, the approval status, and select Hidden. Let's take a look back on our list. As you can now see, the approval status is no longer visible on the new item form. And this sums up the process of how to create a custom list and associate a custom approval request on Lanteria HR. For more training videos or to find out how you can automate 99% of your HR processes, visit totalcalibration.com.au. Thank you.